consumers, with the newer your vehicle is, the more important it is for you to get it to a certified repair facility that understands how your vehicle is equipped, how to repair that equipment, having the right tools to do so, and all the education that comes along with it.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Airing of Grievances. So nice to have you along with us today. We always appreciate it when you take time out of your day to join us for ours. And speaking of us, I'm Eric Reamer. That's Robert Grieve. And if you're watching this, you probably are already aware that this is a consumer-focused series that we talk about the things that happen behind the scenes in the collision industry as they affect you, the driving public.
Yes.
So with that being the case...
By the way, I'm also the driving public.
Right. I count me in there as well. So with that being said, we like to start our Saturdays with you by saying, Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. My dear friends, happy Saturday. So glad you're here. This has really become one of the things I look forward to most. Is Saturday morning premiering with all you folks.
Absolutely.
The conversations that we get into, and Rob, thanks so much for your uplifting, humorous comments.
If you don't know what he's talking about, on the premiere every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. in the Mountain Standard Time, you can join us live. One or both of us are always present to chat with you live as the first episode rolls out, or the first appearance of this episode rolls out. And the Rob, he knows who he is, and so do we. And we'd love it if you got to know him as well.
Good peeps.
All right, Rob, let's talk about something that is a complex discussion. And by complex, I'm talking about vehicle complexity. We've been banging the drum for years that more and more, as time goes on, the complexity of our cars on the road is going through the roof.
Yes.
That's toothpaste that never goes back in the tube. You can't stop technological advancement.
And it hasn't stopped yet. It is going to continue to get more advanced.
Yeah. However, CCC, which is a company that puts out software that helps us and the insurance companies figure out the value of the blueprint or the estimate, depending on who's doing the work. They put out a report, and up until this recently, it's been an annual
report. Yep.
And it's called the Crash Course.
Yep. Very amazing information.
Yeah.
Amazing information from every angle.
The latest Crash Course came out today, and we want to talk about it and talk to you about what it means to you.
Yep. I'm going to be referencing, I read through the Crash Course, but Laura Lowry with Repair Driven News put together a nice little summary of, in specific, what I'm looking for, because every year I report on the Crash Course Report.
Right.
Because there's certain things I look for in the trends. And so let me just shuffle my deck here. Many cars include automated driving functions, as well as level 1 and level 2 automation and safety features like automatic emergency braking. Automatic emergency braking equipped vehicles made up 95%, almost 100% of the 2023 model year vehicles.
All right. Talk to me about what is automatic emergency braking? How do we identify that?
You don't have to. It does it all by itself.
That's the automatic part.
Yeah. If it sees something in the path And again, there's a video out there that's very impactful that there's no license to use it yet, so we can't share that.
Right.
But it was actually a Ring camera that picked up.
A near fatal accident.
Yeah.
And the car stopped itself.
Stopped on its own.
The driver could not possibly have reacted fast enough.
No.
And saved the life of a little girl on her bicycle.
Yep. And so, there's many sensors that go into the front and the rear. So if you're backing out of a parking spot and somebody comes up on a skateboard behind you, through your blind spot, it stops the vehicle for you.
Yep.
It's
All right,
it's saved. It's saved some people, that's for sure.
So 95% of the vehicles in 2023 have this automatic emergency braking.
Yes.
All right.
All right, so going on, the average newer passenger vehicle has 1,400 to 1,500 semiconductor chips.
Computers.
1,500 chips.
Yeah, these are the guts to a computer or multiple computers.
Yeah, throughout the vehicle.
Hundreds of them.
Hundreds of them. And EVs have nearly double that.
What's an EV?
Electric vehicle.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay? So if you've got an EV, you've got double that, 3,000
Right.
semiconductors. So there's a lot of technology that is being used in these vehicles for various reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the concerning part. In CCC's latest crash course report found that last year, 59, call it 60%, of car repair appraisals of 2014 model year vehicles included a scan operation, and only 6% included a calibration operation.
All right, so that's 2013 or
Yeah.
2014.
2014 model year.
All right.
Which kind of makes sense. It's kind of when it was coming on the scene.
Yeah.
I think it was either 14 or 16 that the backup camera became almost on every car.
Yeah.
And many of those are not plug and play. They have their own calibrations that need to be done.
Okay.
And they're dependent on many other sensors in the vehicle, like steering angle sensors. So when you see those lines guiding you into the parking spot,
Right.
it knows the movement because the steering angle sensor is sending information to a different computer that's putting those lines there and guiding you into...
Through one of the 1,400 or 3,000
Could be several of them.
semiconductors.
Yeah, could
Got
be
it.
several of them.
Yeah.
So 60% of the 14s had, a scan. Doesn't say it had a pre-scan and a post-scan. It just has at least a scan.
Okay.
And that's only 60%.
Right.
Now we're going to talk about 2023 models.
Okay.
For 2023 models, 70.7, call it 71% of appraisals included a scan, and 27.6% included a calibration according to the report. That's concerning.
On a number of different levels.
That is very concerning. 2023 models.
Right.
We have a 70% penetration of
A scan.
a scan.
Right.
That blows my mind. And only 27% have a calibration. So if 95% of 2023s have automatic emergency braking, that's just one thing.
Right.
They probably have several things. How can we have only 26% penetration in calibrations of those vehicles? And why is there only 70% of at least a scan?
Yeah, this is the big takeaway from this article and the crash course itself, the report, is we live in this technologically wondrous period of time where everything is connected to everything else, and yet we're still only seeing a little more than 2/3 of the cars receiving a scan, when we know that for the last 15 years we've been doing at least 2 scans on every vehicle that comes through.
Today, it's almost 3 scans on every vehicle because we do in-process scans.
Right.
And, to make sure that things are working. And
And we wouldn't even think of delivering a vehicle without a calibration. I mean, the calibration process is so critical to
Yeah,
make
if the
sure that
vehicle
everything's functioning.
If the vehicle requires it. And
Right.
I don't know where on a 23 that you can get hit that isn't going to require some sort of calibration. So, moving on through the article, research from AAA found that ADAS, automated driver assist systems,
Yep.
research found that ADAS-equipped vehicles can add up to 37.6% to the total repair cost after a crash due to expensive sensors and calibration requirements. So, this is research from AAA now, which is
Right. Reputable.
very reputable. And they're saying that there's a pretty large jump in what it's going to take to repair. So that ding in your door
Right.
or the scratch on your bumper is going to be a whole lot more expensive today on a 2023 and going back. I mean,
Sure.
these aren't, it just didn't happen in 2023. It's been evolving since 14.
Right.
And they're getting more and more and more and more and more complex with more sensors and cameras and so on and so forth. So, what used to be, replace the bumper cover, probably 2,000, 2,500. That's turning into 5,000 and change, depending on how many different cameras, sensors, radars that are affected during that. You get a ding in the door. Well, as soon as you get a ding in the door and you got to take the door apart in order to paint it,
Right.
you're taking off the mirror. The mirror on a 2023, in many cases, has a camera in it that is attached to. It's not all by itself.
Right.
It's attached to your 360 view, and so all the cameras that are involved in the 360 view will now need to be calibrated, which takes specialized equipment, space,
Training.
incredible training,
Yeah.
and it's there's a lot that goes into it. And AAA actually did a little breakdown. A front radar sensors with automatic braking and adaptive cruise control. Just that one calibration can be between 500 and 1,300, they found, as far as an average goes. And front camera sensors used with automatic braking, 600 to 800. Mirror-mounted side mirror used with surround systems, $700 to $1,600
Yeah.
in calibrations.
Right.
And these, you can't just fluff it off and say, you know what, I hardly even used the thing. It's sending information into the car that makes decisions in milliseconds.
Right.
So
And saved that little girl's life.
in that particular case, absolutely. All of this also attributes to backlogs, 60% increase in the time it takes for a vehicle to enter the repair shop after estimates are completed compared to, before COVID.
Yeah.
And according to CCC's research, while vehicles may be safer, more capable of avoiding crashes, and more environmentally friendly, advanced technology contributes to costlier repairs, higher claims cost, and longer cycle times. How long it's going to take to fix a car.
Right. And interestingly enough, CCC is putting this out. This is the software that both the repairer and the insurer use.
So they're looking at the estimates from both sides.
The repairer is saying, well, gosh, we've known this for years. And the the insurer still turns a blind eye to the need for these things.
Yep.
Which also adds to cycle times because we have to go back and forth trying to convince them that we're doing this for a reason.
Yeah. And this is not new news.
No.
This is not new news. It's unbelievable. Some of the things that CCC concluded, repairs now require more parts, labor hours, and diagnostic operations like scanning and calibrations. Vehicle parts costs are more now thanks to new material types. Parts now account for a higher share of the overall repair costs because there's this thing, parts to labor ratio.
Sure.
Well, that parts to labor ratio is kind of moving around now.
Yep.
Shops are seeing more replace versus repair, so bumpers are getting replaced because they're damaged in an area that will interfere with a sensor or a radar or a blind spot monitor.
And you mean you can't just put a little putty and some paint over it?
Well, you can, but it's not going to work.
Oh, there you go.
So shops are seeing more replace versus repair, demanding different skill sets from repair technicians at higher costs.
Ding, ding, ding.
And the costs are astronomical. Damage detection up front is becoming more challenging, leading to an increase in supplements. So the amount of times we need to go back to the insurance company and explain that this needs to be done because this vehicle has it. Maybe the shop didn't realize that when they first...
You can't see what's going on in the computer until you actually pull the computer in and see what's going on in the computer.
And consumers are experiencing longer repair times and increasing repair costs.
Yeah.
That is the new normal for getting your car repaired today.
Yeah, and
if it's getting repaired properly.
Yes, that's a big if, because we know that in the great majority of the partnership shops that are partnered with the insurer, who has one agenda: save themselves more profit, right? To save money and gain more profit. I think one of the interesting things about this report, Rob, and we talked about this just before coming on, is used to be an annual report. Now, this thing is moving so fast; it's gaining momentum, and so now it's a quarterly report.
Yeah, and this report is used by many different areas of the collision repair industry.
Sure. And
more probably the insurance side, because they're looking at all this data and trying to arrange rates and, this, that, and the other thing. This is kind of it's what's happened in the past, but it's what's coming in the future.
Yeah. Your rates are going up.
Exponentially.
This is why, right? This is a part of the why.
This is a part of the why. There's other information we'll cover in another video that's in this report that, to me, is the real why.
Okay.
And it's not the car's fault. I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
It's not the car's fault. So, consumers, with the newer your vehicle is, the more important it is for you to get it to a certified repair facility that understands how your vehicle is equipped, how to repair that equipment, having the right tools to do so, and all the education that comes along with it. These certification programs, it's an important indicator for you, and it increases your chances of getting the right repair for your vehicle. It's not the total answer. There's bad seeds in every
sure
situation, but don't let them put aftermarket parts on your car that may impact some of these things. I was talking to a trainer at Toyota recently, last night actually, and they're talking about the thickness of the bumpers getting thinner so that those radars can look through it easier and give a better picture to the radar.
Right.
And you take an aftermarket bumper that may be thicker, and now things aren't going to operate the way they were designed to operate.
Yep.
And it's scary stuff.
It really is
scary stuff. Try to find a certified collision center that has really good Google reviews. Do a little research. Ask to take a tour of the shop. Ask about the education that they take, and read through your estimate. Be an active participant in the repairs.
You bet.
And again, if anybody ever has any questions, I'm always willing to take a phone call or so on and so forth. But that's what I got for today. It's a shocking discovery that if 95% of 2023s have automatic braking, and estimates or repair plans are only doing at least a scan 70% of the time, and God only knows what they're doing the scan with.
Right.
The stuff that we use to do the scans is all factory stuff. These are super, super important to you anymore as a consumer.
Yeah.
That these systems are acting correctly, because when they're not, it can create some havoc that have some serious consequences. So that's what I got for us today.
Rob, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. I think it's important. I hope that you agree. If you do, leave us a comment if you would, please. Don't forget to
Love your
click
comments.
the thumbs up and the subscribe button. We appreciate that all the time as well. And come back and join us again next Saturday. We appreciate you every Saturday. Rob?
Happy Saturday to you, my dear friends. Happy Saturday to you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for engaging, and look forward to seeing you next week. God bless.